What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and this video is going to be very different to all of my videos normally because for so many months now, so many years actually, you guys have been keeping asking me about my program, and wanting my program specifically doesn't really make any sense, since it's specifically made for me, my strength levels, my leverages, my goals and priorities, and specifically also stuff like right now I have a bit of trouble with my lower back. So you want a program for a person that has lower back issues? I don't think so. Um, so what I've done is I've made a program that uses around the same structure as me and uses some of the same ideas that I use, and also a bit of some of the ideas I use before any individualization comes into a program for most people that I coach. So how it works is up here you type in your max for each of the lifts, and then you're not supposed to change that throughout the whole program. It is a 12-week program, a full macro cycle, if you want to call it that, of 3 blocks. Each block, you have a primary day where you're pushing a rep range for each lift. So the first block you're pushing some threes, so one set of 3 here and one set of 3 here and one set of 3 here. And you're ending up very heavy for that at like RP 9, 9.5, 8.5. And then the next block, you're doing something similar, but with doubles instead. And the program is in general not changing much throughout the whole macro cycle here. It's the exact same exercise selection. It is in most cases also pretty similar rep ranges and RPEs. It is changing slightly throughout the program. But in general, to reduce the noise that we make in this program, everything is fairly similar. You also have a lot of stats where you can try and figure out what works and what doesn't work for you, and you can also use this template yourself to write things down. So how you're supposed to read the program is in the first line here you have what exercise you're doing, and you have the days here, and here you have the amount of sets you're supposed to do, and here you have the amount of reps you're supposed to do, and here is the intensity of your of the exercise that you're supposed to do. So it's one set of 3 reps at RPE 6. When it doesn't say anything, it just means RPE 6. It could also be a weight in and of itself, but that would in most cases I think in all cases just stand here in prescribed load. If it doesn't say anything in prescribed load, then you can just put something, then you're not supposed to do anything here, and you should just put in the actual load that you're doing right here. So one set of 3 at RP6, then you put in the weight that you're doing right here, and then you put out what RPE that was, and the program knows everything from that. So that is pretty much how you use the program. You also have some of these days down here where it's percent off top set, so you can use them like this, and it will automatically prescribe what weight you should use. I often use estimated 1 rep max for a lot of people in terms of getting back off volume. So what I often do is I put in some weight and some RPE here, and then you give it a estimated 1 rep max, and then I'll base the back off volume off of that. But in this case, I've decided it would fit better to this program to just keep percent of 1 rep max that you've set in, and that will make sure that you can easily have a steadily progression from week to week instead of your estimated 1 rep max changing here and there. And it's a bit more complicated to use, and something I do for most people that I coach, but not for this program, because I cannot change anything. This is a completely hands-off program, and it's completely free. So I will not be able to make any changes in the program depending on if you're feeling good or if you're feeling bad or whatever's happening here. So you have 5 days. It's a 5-day program, and you're benching 4 times a week, squatting 3 times a week, and deadlifting twice a week. So it's a fairly high frequency program, and I think I've made that because I think there's a lot of people that thinks you can only bench twice a week, you can only deadlift once a week, and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, often people can increase their frequency more than they think they can. There is obviously an upper limit to how much you can increase your frequency, but in a lot of cases it is worth it to increase frequency, especially for the bench press guys that only bench 1 to twice a week and want to increase their bench press. They're not really doing enough. They need more skill practice, and they need more overall volume. That's not all done in the same workout, because the quality of the volume is getting so low when you're doing it all in 1 or 2 days. So that's why I've made the program like this. So you have the first day here with your primary squat and bench day, and then you have some accessories here, and then you have your day 2, which is your primary deadlift day, and I think your tertiary bench day. I can't remember exactly because you have so many bench days in this program. Then you have your day 3 here, which is your secondary squat day and your maybe also secondary bench day. I can't remember. It's another bench day. And then you have your day 4 here, which is your secondary deadlift day and another bench day here. And I've kept all of the exercises, and also for day 5 you have another squat day here, your tertiary squat day. I've kept the exercises for the program very similar, and there's no change in most exercises. There's a few where that's, for instance, bicep curl of choice, or this one with build squat, hack squat, or leg press, whatever you have access to. But I would recommend you doing a build squat if you have access to that. And I think there's also lat pull down of choice, that you can do wide grip or close grip or neutral grip or underhand grip or whatever you want to. So there's a little bit of variability in this program. You can run this program more than once. You can do the whole 12 weeks here, and then you can rerun the program and maybe change slight things in the program. How you will be able to exit the program is that you go into files, and then you make a copy of the program to your own document, and then you can just edit it yourself there. You also have a RPE chart here. It is the most popular RPE chart, and I think a somewhat accurate RPE chart, which can help you base RPE weights. So when this, for instance, says 1 set of 3 at RP6, let's say your max is 100 kg, then you know if you go to reps, 3 reps and RPE 6, it should be around 82.5 kg here. So that's how you can use this RPE chart. You can use it for whatever you want to, and it's fairly easy to use. Then you also have all these RPE stats, where you're tracking your actual RPE that you're doing each week, based on this one you set up here, and average prescribed RPE that you have each week, and then the average actual RPE compared to the prescribed RPE, so you can track how good you're matching the RPEs, how good you're doing the program. Then you have how much tonnage you're doing for each lift, and how many sets you're doing for each lift, and total tonnage, total amount of sets, and average prescribed RPE for everything. This is mainly just for fun, for keeping track of it. And here you also have average actual RPE for all of the ones that are prescribed RPE, and here's the average actual RPE for every single set that you've done. Here you have some estimated 1 rep max throughout the week. So your max estimated 1 rep max, your highest estimated 1 rep max that you got in this week will come here, and here will the average come. and this only counts for competition standard squat, bench, and deadlift. So it's only from your primary day on the squat and deadlift, and then it's from your primary and secondary day or tertiary day for the bench press here. I can't remember exactly, but that's how it works here. In 9 out of 10 cases, you'll just have to look at this max instead of the average, because the average will also include your last set of 3 sets of 5 at something. So that's not super accurate in terms of getting your actual 1 rep max. It's much better to use this one. And then the thought process behind this is the first 3 weeks you should take this RPE that's prescribed for your top sets and think it more so as a max RPE 6 and a max RPE 6.5. So we would much rather have an RPE 5 than an RPE 7 these days, and it's okay if you just think it as like RPE 5 to 6 or RPE 5.5 to 6. Also in this week, RPE 8, it should more be like RPE 7 to 8 or something like that. And then the last week of each block here, then I removed that, and you can think it more so as in you try and actually hit this RPE. You also have some RPE caps for your back off. So this means that you're supposed to do, if your max in the squat is 200 kg, you're supposed to do 3 sets of 5 with 140 kg, and then you do that, and if one of the sets exceed RPE 6.5 or reaches that, then you're supposed to go down until the weight reaches RPE 6.5 instead of going above it. So if you do your first set and it's RPE 8, then you go down to a weight that will be RPE 6.5 instead. You are not allowed to exceed this cap no matter what for the program. And the cap follows along with how the weight increases. So this is pretty much how you're going to use the program and most things about it. It is using some RPE based stuff, daily regulation, auto regulation, and then you also have some kind of linear progression throughout the program. So you're using a bit of both schools of powerlifting, if that makes sense. And I think that covers most of the things for this program. We're changing the rep ranges slightly in each block, but pretty much keeping it as identical as possible to make sure we don't have any noise. And then I'm excited to see if any of you guys can make some nice progress on this non-specified program for anyone. I will leave a link to this in the description of the video, so make sure to check it out, and I'll see you guys later.